like donuts. That's it! Possibly one of the best things I made. Steven Universe is a 2013 Cartoon Network original series created by Rebecca Sugar. It follows the life of Steven, a 12-year-old who is half gem, half human, learning how to use his powers and live with the crystal gems, pearl, garnet, and amethyst. The story touches on emotions such as grief, love, acceptance, and mental issues. For a kids show, it's a very deep cartoon. The things that I like about it is the atmosphere, the warm tones, the colors. The music is a big part of the series as well. Everything is very soft until it gets a little traumatic. But it's a very low stimulating show overall, and I think that was one of the reasons why I liked it so much as a kid. Since it's a popular show, finding recipes was super easy. Everywhere you look, it's there, unlike the Cooking Idol show video that took me days of research. Also, the foods on this show were very easy to make, judging by the majority of them being made by Steven himself. Therefore, in total, I made 6 recipes. First recipe, Cookie Cat from season 1 episode 1. Steven's favorite ice cream gets discontinued as a new competitor, Lion Liquors, appears. Feeling bad for him, Sadie working at Big Donut lets him take the freezer they were originally sold in. When he gets home, he finds Amethyst, Pearl, and Garnet locked in battle with centipedes. Centipedeless? Locked in battle with centipedeless. They have invaded their house. Steven drives one off to the fridge and finds a lot of cookie cats in the freezer. The gems explain how they got some from a nearby factory since they knew they were his favorite. Delighted, he begins to sing the Cookie Cat song. Taking a bite of the Cookie Cat makes his gem glow. In a panic to summon a weapon, his gem stops glowing, which leaves him disappointed. But Pearl volunteers to help him figure it out. The recipe consists of chocolate cake recipe, 3 eggs, 1 cup oil, 1 cup sugar, 1 cup milk, 7.5 grams of vanilla sugar, 24 gram baking powder, 2 cups flour, and 14 gram cocoa powder. The ice cream, vanilla and strawberry ice cream powder mix, vanilla and strawberry flan powder mix for extra flavor. I started making the ice cream first, judging by it needing to freeze for a long time. The ice cream mix makes things so much easier. Some other recipes, store-bought ice cream or ice cream from scratch using fresh strawberries, but what am I? Obviously lazy. So I prompted for the easier, less expensive solution. After making the vanilla ice cream batch, I grabbed this triangle-shaped plastic container and put half of it on the side. Then went to make the strawberry batch. I got worried a bit because the flan gave this instantly bright color which the Cookie Cat doesn't really have. But after whisking for a while, the color toned down. I put the strawberry batch on the other side of the container and put it in the freezer to cool overnight. Mind you, I filled 2 of the same container and the other small containers, so this made a lot. There's still a lot left even at the time of recording this. Woke up the next day to make the cake part, added the eggs, sugar, vanilla, oil, flour, baking powder, milk, and cocoa powder. I brought this big rectangular mold because I wanted the cake to turn up pretty thin. Spoiler alert, it didn't. I put oil over it, then parchment paper, and poured it. I then preheated the oven for 10 minutes at 180 Celsius, and when done, I put it in the oven for 30 minutes while watching it and poking it with a knife to make sure it's cooked. It actually lasted less than that because it was warm, so that's why you need to check. Just wanted to say I was being lazy and made a basic chocolate cake, but you can use a cookie recipe, which in my opinion would have been better than a cake. When the cake was still in the oven, I drew the cat over a little piece of parchment paper to help me cut out the shape. Other people used molds that you can shape however you like. I didn't know where to find it, so I just used a simpler solution, which ended up being a little hard. After taking the cake out of the oven, I let it cool down a bit, then tried to cut it, which turned out a little hard, so I let it cool down longer. The second time cutting was a little bit easier. I then cut the ice cream pot as well and was left with the eyes, which I should have cut earlier because the ice cream got all over the cake. Nevertheless, our dish was completed in the end. Thinking that he can summon his weapon with eating Cookie Cat, Steven gets frustrated when it doesn't work. He desperately eats the remaining Cookie Cats, wondering why it's not working. When he sees Nefret damage the Cookie Cat freezer, he is distraught and gets a new wave of courage. He grabs the freezer by the plug and throws the broken freezer at Nefret, electrocuting her. Steven buries the wrappers of the Cookie Cat and begins to solve. With the aid of the crystal gems, he resolved that he is unable to summon his weapon by eating ice ice cream. Then the gyms cheer him up by saying that he'll figure it out how his gym works in his own Stephenie way. The Cookie Cat tasted really good. The mix between the bitterness from the cocoa powder and the sweetness from the ice cream made it a nice combo. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. If I had to make it next time, I won't be adding the flan because it made it too sweet for my liking, and I'm curious how it tastes with cookie instead of cake. Next recipe is the Big Donut Donuts that show up constantly on the show since episode 1. Big Donut is a donut shop in Beach City that Steven frequently goes to. It only has 2 employees, Sadie and Lars. Their menu includes donuts, obviously, cupcakes, croissant, cookie cat formally, lion liquors, ice cream sandwich, coffee, soda, tea, drink cup, bees, yummy apple juice, sugar shock shot down, snack food, dog nut dog, spicy pretzel, Sadie's lunches, which are not for sale. Notable donuts they have is the strawberry with rainbow sprinkled donut, the chocolate donut, and the glazed donut. I didn't make the strawberry one because I forgot it was Steven's favorite, my bad. The recipe consists of donuts, 7 grams of yeast, 3.5 tablespoons of warm water, 1 tablespoon of scalded milk, 38 grams of butter, 54 grams of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 egg, 2.5 cup of flour, glaze, 1 cup powdered sugar, 38 grams of melted butter, 2 to 3 tablespoons evaporated milk, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We start heating up our water. It shouldn't be to the boiling point, then we add 3 tablespoons and a half with 7 grams of yeast. We cover it and let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes. We go warm our milk again, not to the boiling point. We only heat it until it gets this little layer on top. We turn the heat off and add 38 grams of butter and mix it a little bit and then let it get lukewarm before you pour it. We add 1 egg, 54 grams of sugar and salt. After the milk and butter become warm, we start adding them while mixing. We split the flour into 3 parts and pour it, mix and pour it, mix, pour it, then mix it. For the last batch, preferably switch to a spatula to stir so it doesn't get caught on the whisk. You're supposed to get a sticky, not thick consistency. After mixing everything, cover it and let it rise for 48 minutes to 1 hour. So, my first mistake was that I had to go out to buy the powdered sugar and the mold to cut the dough, so I left it rise for an hour. 50 minutes. Anyways, look how much has risen, guys! I spray flour on my table, then plop the dough on top of it and turn it so the other side also gets flour on it. Try not to knead it so the bubbles stay in and start rolling it. There's donut cutter, but I couldn't find it, so I just used a circle cutter and a pipe pin type for the hole. So because I let it rise for too long, trying to lift the donut and put it on the pan with flour to let it proof, the dough would stretch and it was very annoying. Anyway, we figured it out. By we, I mean my mom. She said I should add more flour and it got a little better. Then I fried them. So basically in the recipe, she measures the heat of the oil. I don't have a thermometer, so I just eyeballed it. For the glaze, I used 1 cup powdered sugar, 2.5 tablespoons of melted butter, 2 to 3 tablespoons of evaporated milk, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I let the donut cool off a little bit, then dipped them on the glaze. For some reason, the glaze was not sticking at all, so I added milk, which made it too runny, and it dripped on the bottom of the plate. Whatever. For the chocolate, I just used chocolate pudding, drizzled it with those chocolate balls. Anyway, here's the final look. Not my best one visually. I wish it looked better. For the taste, the glazed one, I couldn't even taste the donuts because of how sweet it is. The chocolate one was fine. Honestly, I felt the donuts were too hard and sweet. They weren't as soft as a usual donut. Honestly, guys, kind of a hot take. I don't really like donuts. I feel they're too sweet, they make me puke. Maybe I haven't tried a good donut yet. 3.5 out of 5. It's alright. Next recipe is fry bits from season 1 episode 2. Steven and Amethyst go to Beach City Walk fries demanding the bits. Which is not an actual menu, but the remains of the fries stuck in the fryer. They get it for free too. Crazy. The recipe consists of 1 to 2 potatoes, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. I start by washing the potatoes and peeling them. I cut them in half and then start cutting them in small pieces that are similar to a fry, just cut in small. After cutting, I put them in a bowl, add salt and pepper and garlic powder. I heated the oil and fried the potatoes, and I'm done. Very easy, Very quick recipe to make. Also, I made the cutout myself to resemble the one they had. The fries tasted like fries, I like the garlic, they added a nice taste to it. 5 out of 5, you could never go bad with fries. Next recipe, bagel sandwich, season 1 episode 3. I only remember this episode because of the cheeseburger backpack that Steven gets delivered to him. He shows it to Gems pretty excited, but honestly me too, man. I really love this bag. It's my long love dream to get it. Anyway, Steven joins the Gems in a mission. Since he doesn't have a weapon, he puts a ton of shit in his bag to defend himself. Including the stuff he puts on his bag was the bagel sandwich. The recipe includes bagel, fried egg, slice of cheese, turkey slice, Canadian bacon alternate, salmon with cream cheese alternate. This is my first time buying a bagel and probably the last because it's expensive for 4 of them anyway. I toasted the bread in a pan. In the same pan, I cracked my egg. I like my egg cooked well, so I scrambled it a little bit. When done, I put cream cheese first, then the egg, slice of cheese, and the turkey slice. Bit of a weird order, but there it is, it's done. Technically ate this as breakfast, so it was really filling. I was energized for the rest of the day. It tasted really good, as I said. This is my first time to eat a bagel. I like the sweetness it gave and how it mixed well with the other ingredients that are salty. 5 out of 5. This was good. I would love to try it again if only it wasn't for the bagels being expensive. Overall, I enjoyed it. Next recipe, Together Breakfast from season 1 episode 4. This episode started with Steven making the Together Breakfast, hoping to eat it with the crystal gems, but they all seem to be busy. So he just keeps walking around holding the breakfast, trying to get them together. He ends up losing it in an attempt to push a monster. In the end, they end up making a bigger Together Breakfast together. The recipe consists of pancake, 1 egg, 1/4 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of milk, 1.5 tablespoon of oil, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, cream whipped, popcorn, maple syrup. We start by making the pancake batter. We add the egg, the sugar, then mix them, add the oil, the vanilla, the flour, and baking powder, then the milk. I grabbed the pan to heat it. At the same time, I put oil in another pan and put popcorn in it, medium heat. For the pancakes, Steven uses waffles that he just pops into a toaster. I don't have that, so I just made a pancake instead, which I burned. It's fun, but the pancakes turned up really thick. This doesn't happen usually, which is quite funny. After everything cooked, I made my coffee, which ended up tasting terrible. Anyways, I stacked the pancakes, then put honey over it since I don't have maple syrup, then added the popcorn, then the whipped cream. Steven finishes by putting strawberry on top, but it's not strawberry season, so I tried to put a grape on top, but...
Oh, Steven's not gonna like that.
Anyways, ta-da! This tasted so good. I loved it. For some reason, I thought the popcorn was useless, but weirdly eating it together, it adds this crunchy flavor to the soft ones. Possibly one of the best things I made. 10 out of 5. So good. I would make a million times again. Time for our last recipe, body sub. From season 5, episode 15. Steven comes in through the dimension portal on Lara's head and announces a celebration with a hoggy. The recipe consists of a baguette, sliced cheese, tomato, turkey slice, lettuce, and mayo. This is a cold sandwich, so nothing was cooked. I had this Italian bread I need to get rid of, so I used it instead of the baguette. I cut it in half, put the mayo on, then lettuce, tomato slice, turkey slice, sliced cheese, and more mayo, and done. I mean, it's a sandwich. You can never go wrong with a sandwich. I liked it. It was filling. I'm not much of a mayo person, but it didn't taste that strong and the flavors were good. 5 out of 5. It's a sandwich. We'll make again. This was such a fun video. I really enjoyed making it. I really enjoyed making the recipes and got me reminiscing about the time I watched the show at the time. So I was like, yay, this is fun. I was happy that I made Cookie Cat. I always looked at Cookie Cat, I was like, oh my god, I want to try it. But yeah, I'm really happy I tried it. The rating, we can rate this. I feel like the Together Breakfast is #1 for me. Then maybe the bagel. The bagel and the Cookie Cat are in the same level. I think the sub sandwich and the fries are like in the same category. Yeah, the donuts is less. I'm sorry, I just didn't like it. It was like weird. I even tasted it today. Like it's been it's like been 2 days since I made it, and I was like, this ain't it. This ain't it, bro. This was such a fun video to make though. I really enjoyed it. It was fun, and Steven Universe was my favorite show as a kid. So, and I even watched it in 2022. I think I finished the whole in 2022. I was like, I need to watch all of it, and I did. It was fun, but I never watched The Future. If I had to rewatch it, I would not watch The Future. It's too real. It makes me. Oh, I really don't like endings. I hate when endings are the thing. But well, if you have something like a cartoon or an anime, or you want to watch like the other one, the animal one I made, go. So yeah, if you have any suggestions, please do tell me. And see you on the next one. Bye!